on the O'Shea Duke Jackson live stream. I'm so glad to have you guys here today. If you're new to the channel, thank you for being here. Get in the chat and comment for those on the restreaming audience. We definitely appreciate you here. Now, also, we have a brother, Amin Rahh, an African American who is living in Mombasa. Mombasa, Kenya. Some of you have seen him before. You can go to the first pinned comment and subscribe to his channel, Amin Rahh. His name is there on the screen. So we want to welcome him here. And today's topic, because we wanted to make sure that we got the people in the stream today. Being an ADOS peasant in America versus being a king in Africa. And we obviously don't mean a literal king, but we're just talking about the opportunities and the growth that you can have in Africa that will exceed what you can do in America. So we have our brother here. What's going on, Amin Rahh?
Hi, what's happening, man? I'm just chilling here in Mombasa.
All right. And for
enjoying
those people
the weather.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm saying I'm just chilling here in Mombasa, enjoying the weather.
Okay. For those people who might not know you, can you tell them a little bit about yourself, your channel, living in Kenya for these years?
Okay. I'm from Los Angeles, California, born and raised. I'm 61 years old. I moved to Kenya 21 years ago. I spent some months living in Johannesburg, South Africa. I visited at 6 African countries by road. And I've been an advocate for Black consciousness since 1986. And coming from South Central, I wasn't really supposed to be the kind of person to come to Africa. But being here, I came to realize that this was a paradise that they had lied to us about. And since the time when I came 21 years ago, it has only gotten better, and I mean extremely better. And like the economists say, the growth in Africa is going to be, they predict it to continue for 50 years. I've been privileged to see the turnaround since the Chinese have come and invested in African infrastructure. And I seriously believe that modern Africa is a far better choice than living and staying in America. And in fact, it is becoming a necessity to have an African plan, African escape plan as a Black person in America today.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, because you did mention in the title that we were talking about on Facebook, ADOS. You wanted to address these. Why is it necessary to address ADOS?
Well, I was saying, we've been living. It's just another dream, and I don't understand what is the big talk about ADOS as far as getting reparations. That is never going to happen.
Okay.
So I don't even know why guys that are intelligent. And by intelligent, I mean they follow through history. They can see that they gonna never give us no money. They've been spending 400 years keeping us economically oppressed. So who believes that they're gonna turn around and all of a sudden change that and give us money? And what part of the white population is gonna accept that Blacks get money? It's never gonna happen. Not in 10 years, not in 100 years.
Why are they not going to get it?
Because you look through history, you can see that it's not going to happen. First of all, Dr. Claude Anderson tried this thing 7 years ago. He had a think tank. He had he was all for talking about reparations, and he said he was going to legal court and all that. Then all of a sudden it just ended because he saw it was impossible. It wasn't going to happen. First of all, you need Black unity. You don't got that. Second of all, you got to realize how the government works. He got to go to the House of Representatives, and then all them fools in the House, I mean, not fools, but all of them congressmen in the House of Representatives got to put their life on the line. All them white congressmen got to put their life on the line, their careers on the line by saying, okay, I'm going to vote yes for some reparation for some Black people. Mm-hmm. Then it got to go to the 100 Black men. I mean, 100 white men, and 100 white men, Senate, that ain't gonna hardly get you. That's impossible. You know what I mean? They passed some legislation to put us in prison and to put us, make us deem out to be drug dealers and put more police on the street, all that. So how are they gonna turn around and give them us reparations? They think we criminals. You see what I'm saying? White people are not gonna go for that. If it even got to that level when they had to start discussing it, they're gonna be like, "How all them niggas, the drug dealers, be getting the money, they're just gonna spend it on drugs, and then they're gonna come and give it to my kids." No. So they need to go back in history and see that the thing can't work. So obviously, and I mean, has anybody done anything?
Let me ask you a question, because some people will say when blacks were in slavery, people would also say, well, you know, they're never going to let us out of slavery. What do you say to that? Because, you know, we did get out of slavery.
Well, history shows that when America first started, we were free, and then they made laws, and then they put us in. Then they made laws that say blacks can marry white women, and then they went on further and further. Then they started bringing Africans over here. So we know a time when it was like the freedom, but you ain't gonna never get no time when they gonna change and give you on equal footing with the white man. Somebody need to wake up and smell the coffee. They dreaming. Just like integration, like Martin Luther King had a dream of integration. That was a dream. Where they had a dream of equal education, that was a dream. Didn't come true. Had equal employment, that shit didn't come true. Equal protection under the law, all dreams, they all failed. For 400 years, they fighting against us. They have taken our black communities from us. We sitting around acting like that don't matter, but that's like they poke a hole in the bottom of the ship. When you take out the black community, surely. So jokes. It's not. I can't. I'm waiting somebody to try to explain to me, but it's impossible. I'm 61 years old, so I see the whole long picture, and I see a lot of the young guys saying they're gonna get some money, but you're not owed no money. You don't deserve no money. And we damn sure should get money.
Wait. You're not owed no money? Say it again.
You're not owed money. No, you was a slave.
Okay, you're not owed no money, and what else?
So when your people, you will not. We don't deserve the money.
Don't deserve
because you know what to do with it when we got it. You don't deserve that money because the ultimate point is tactic for our identity is Africa. So if you talk about getting money from the U.S. government, then you think you're gonna spend that money where? In the U.S. In the U.S.
Okay, so
what you gonna do?
I want to go back to what
you're gonna root. You're gonna root your. They give you. Let's say they give everybody $50,000. It can be any amount. You're gonna use that money to root yourself deeper inside the United States. And the United States for those people who haven't seen it, has never been our friend. If you follow history, it's never been our friend. If we black today talking about we still struggling, if they telling us today that racist tendencies are still there in 2019, come on. You see? How? Trump said make America better, and that means give blacks some money? It's impossible. That can't even,
Okay, Amaran, let me ask you this. So blacks are not owed any money. They don't deserve the money. What was the last money?
According to the law. So you're not owed money because your ancestors, first of all, we today, we wouldn't even know nothing about slavery or what it's like to be enslaved if we didn't read it in the history books. Okay. So the history books are skeptical at best because they tell only a partial part of the story. You see, like people like Frederick Douglass, who were slaves and came out and was able to articulate being enslaved, said that that's the only life they knew. He only knew that life. So how couldn't so all his actions were based on only thing he knew. It wasn't like somebody that told him, oh, by the way, what we're doing to you is mistreatment. No, there's slaves all around the world. So every people that were slaves in all villages and countries all around the world, all of a sudden they should just wake up and then people say, you see what you did to us 200 years ago. Oh, you got to pay us for that. Pay our children now for that. You get what I'm saying? And then who gets and who don't get? You know. So do Barack Obama's girls get reparations? See, I'm saying you look at the whole situation, it can never happen even in law. So that's why I say we don't even deserve because we were slaves. You cannot build a White House and then go back to the White House and say, you know, I get to sleep here because of, you know, my ancestors built the White House. Mm-hmm. So that's my take. Now, you know, you want to attack me all you want, but see, that's the first line of when you deny, you attack the messenger. So when you talk to me negatively about, it's only because you don't have no defense otherwise. Mm-hmm.
So if they disagree and start, you know, doing personal attacks and all that. Okay. Very well. So again,
it shows me I'm right. When they talk about names and this guy, him, you see. But
okay. Well, let me ask you this then, Amara. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you a question then. Mm-hmm. Africans were also complicit in the slave trade. So
that was a lie.
It was a lie.
Yeah, definitely a lie.
Please tell me how this is. So Africans did not sell slaves.
No, what they gonna sell? What money did they use? You see, this is just somebody that's living in today's world, using today's common sense standards and understanding to try to inflict that on the Africans back in their country. So the Africans is there, and there's some boats in the ocean. And like the white man jumped off the boat and told them, we're going to enslave your people until they die. No, he didn't say that. He said, we got a wonderful land. They can come back. You know, he lies. So he lied to them and tricked them. And many of those people in Africa waited for their lifetime, hoping sitting at the beach, hoping that waiting for their relatives to be returned. And when they realized that the white man was stealing their people, you got histories of whole African kingdoms that moved their whole tribe inland, further inland, to keep away from the white man because they were told that they was taking the people and the people was disappearing and you never see them again. But this thing of the person that come up with the story like, oh, Africans was just as bad as the white man, surely you can see the psychological nonsense of that. Who in the hell is going to go and send off their people to land like they knew what was on the other side? How could they know what was happening on the other side? You understand what I'm saying to you? So it's like, don't try to make them feel like they was the ones doing that. Yeah, I'm going to take you and throw you on that slave ship. They didn't call them no slave ship when they was coming into Africa. They were talking trading goods.
Okay, let me ask you this, though, because there are a lot of people who disagree with you, PhD scholars, John Henrik Clarke. Do you have any...
How? John Henrik Clarke said what?
He doesn't. I mean, I know for a fact that John Henrik Clarke. I've read and seen debates and lectures of his that talk about the slave trade, and this is diametrically opposed to your view. So how can you back up what you're saying with any scholarly, with any academic or scholarly evidence?
No. You see, you're just trying to set yourself up talking about using.
I'm not. If you can prove to me what you're saying is right, I believe it.
I read all John Henrik Clarke's messages, listen to all his speeches, and he ain't talking about the African was explicit in slavery. That's
implicit. Means that he also helped too, not explicit. Explicit means like vulgar or deliberate.
No one on the African shores knew what they was being put in them ships for.
Clearly,
and considering the white man's ability to lie, he's the father of lies. He could tell the natives anything to get those Africans running to the ship. You see, so let us not see like the African is doing that. If he had that kind of sick ass man, if the African had that kind of sick ass mentality, where did it go? Why is he saying nothing but love for the brothers today?
Okay, well, let me misspoke. Explicit, not complicit means to go along with. Explicit doesn't mean that. But let me ask you this. So, Oga TV, shout out to him, my favorite guest. Yeah, complicit means they helped. So you're saying it's not okay. Fair enough. Your opinion is Africans were not complicit in the slave trade. All right. There's direct line. Now I will use your word explicit, which means obvious or straightforward. There are people with PhDs in this field that have written books that disagree with you, but you say that they're wrong. I'm just making sure. People who
they're wrong.
Okay.
Really, listen, let me tell you something. How many people in the chat room believe that Hitler was a dictator, madman, and murdered 6 million Jews? They still believe that today.
Okay.
But this is not true.
Okay.
And I'm saying,
well, let me ask you a question. Like, if you have people that have that have studied this, people that but you know more. You know more about them than they do, and they teach classes on this, and they have done this all their life.
I understand that you're in university and you're an academic person, but even today, Google and Apple, these major companies are saying they can hire people. They're starting to hire people that don't have college educations because they want people. They can get people. They can't. It's hard to find people that can think out of the box or think for themselves. And I'm saying to you that there have been scholars that wrote many books, and then now I'm saying I'm not going by that. I'm saying use your common sense, black people. Use your goddamn common sense. If that was the African had that mentality back then to do that to his people, he would still have that mentality today. You would see that in his writings. They would have something the same Africans. Even in their verbal histories, they would be saying, "Yeah, we took some bad Africans. That was what did they do? What kind of crimes could they commit back in those days? You know, that would warrant them to be enslaved. What was it? You just either farmed or agriculture, or you hunted. It wasn't nothing like you jaywalked or like that." And Africans damn sure didn't have a history of murdering each other. So what crime would justify them being thrown on boats? And how come there was no oral history talking about this? Because it didn't happen. Use your common sense. Stop using propaganda and stop regurgitating things that you've heard without running it through your own mind's common sense computer.
Okay, shout out to Search Trough. Again, my brother Ogle TV. We definitely have to. I don't know if Dynus, if you know my brother Ogle TV out of Los Angeles, but he's building a factory in Nigeria. I don't know if you two know each other, but I'll definitely introduce you to each other. And shout out to my Nigerian brothers. I love my Nigerian brothers in America because technically, you niggas ain't shit like we ain't shit. So I'm just messing with y'all. But let me ask you this. Yeah, no, I love Nigerians crazy. Let me ask you this then, because there are Africans in the chat that are disagreeing, but that's neither here nor there. Let's go to this. For brothers, I was trying to hold on. For brothers, such as yourself who've moved to Africa, then since we came from Africa, if the United States doesn't owe us anything, what is it that Africa? So Africa. Let me ask you this: so does Africa owe us anything, as we are their people?
Does Africa owe us anything? Africa, how? What did they do to us? They're going to say the Africans was Black Americans are unique to themselves because they're different from the African because the African put them on ships and sent them. Told waved the white man off. Hey, take them, bye bye. Take them to America. No, that's not neither here nor there. These are generations that have gone beyond the point of what happened. We're in a new age now. If you got Africans, Americans, they come to Africa and they saying, "Okay, I'm in Africa now." Let's say one woke up from the grave in the 1700s, and then he happened to get on a ship and go back to Africa today. He would not see anything that would remind him of his time when he was in Africa. We have modernized. Africa now is going through an urban transition period, the same way the United States did when they were mostly farmers and then they went into the urban side. This has happened through all civilizations. So Africa is having its turn. The Chinese are building infrastructure to allow this thing to happen even faster, and that is what we're seeing with the rise of Africa. So we're not even talking about this is two different places. You know, the modern Africa today is nothing like what Africa was even 20 years ago. Today, it's just off the chain. You know what I'm saying? And to the point where people can come here and you can get anything that you would normally get in America. There's advertisements on YouTube showing American actors and actresses showing signs saying you can buy anything you want in Kenya from America. So there is no all these old ideas of Africa is bad. Africa is people. There was a guy on Dynasty Show talking about Africans are fighting each other. He's talking about some xenophobia in South Africa. So that's like 2 guys start fighting, or 6 guys, or even 20 guys, and then he said all of the billion people in Africa are beating each other up. You see, so this is the hysterical nonsense that we go through, rather than use our common sense to take it a step forward and understand that that's propaganda, and that's not the reality.
Okay, let me just shout out again to brother Olga TV for the 1989. Thank you for the support. I just hooked you and Dynus up by email, and me and Olga gonna definitely link up. So Africa, in your opinion, because you haven't been back to America since what year?
I was there online yesterday.
Yeah, I mean physically.
I don't see what the point is by being there physically, but I have not been in 21 years.
It's to prove the point that obviously Africa must be so much better because you haven't been back to America. So what has kept you? I'm not setting you up with the question. I'm being neutral today.
I get what you're saying. No, I'm just joking too, and I'm just saying when my Social Security money time comes, you'll see.
Yeah, okay, you'll be there. So basically, Africa has been so prosperous for you that you have no need to really go back to America. But why is your story more such as because a lot of blacks go to Africa and they have to come back. So what does Africa have to offer that keeps you there and that would keep other people there?
I have been successful here 21 years. Hungry. I never had like been on the street. I know how to network. You know, I was a businessman in the United States. I was able to recreate the same thing that I love to do and made money in America. I was able to replicate it here in Kenya times 10. I 10x'd it. You know what I mean? So where I had one martial arts school that was highly successful in the United States, here I had 29 clubs under a federation of schools. Now that's what's possible in Africa today, which is not possible in the United States. Because even though I had one really successful club, the people in the organization that I was affiliated with in the martial arts attacked me, you know, even came and physically beat me in my own school because they were jealous. I mean, of what I was doing. So I understand that that's all through the black community, because this rat race trying to be ahead, we start measuring ourselves against other people, and then we can take it to the violent extreme simply because we can't compete with somebody that has moved up. So, it's not a really big situation, but I'm saying you don't really get, when you do great, you don't get that support in the United States from your fellow brothers. And, you need to have good people in order for you to rise in any business. I do a lot of business. I have to have a business relationship with someone who I can trust and who they can trust me. And then therefore I can grow my business farther, a vast area. So these are things that you learn that you have to understand. There's no rich one person. There's no one real. Bill Gates wasn't just rich by himself. He had Tom Allen.
So let me
same with Steve Jobs. Same with Bill.
So Rahh, are you saying that
with each other?
You're able to trust Africans more so than you could your own people who are African Americans? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that there are, for every one African American that I can trust, with my, close to me, there's 20 Africans I can trust.
Oh.
I'm just telling you the facts. Now you can believe it or not, but I've been here 21 years. I was dealing with Kenyans and Africans when I was in the United States, so I know their behaviors. I understand the way they think. You know what I'm saying? I know them just as well as I know my own brothers, and I know that a brother of mine can laugh in my face and stab me in the back. Where this is not in the Africans' nature makeup, and the educated Africans who have a mind for business. Oh, you can go far. You can go far once you can get them to trust you.
Mm-hmm. Let me say this. Shout out to Mike Ed. He just sounds like he got attacked by showed up. Shout out to the brother. I'm in Rahh. So you one of the words, because me and you talk quite regularly, at least a few times a week. One of your terms for me is house Negro. I don't know. You love to use that word with me, and I guess those people who are defending the United States, like I often do, and I spend I spend some time in Africa, obviously not as much as you, but you do call me the term house Negro. Why is that? Why am I a house Negro and people who think like me?
Are you in Poland? Or are you in the United States? I'm talking about all blacks.
No. I'm in Poland still. I mean, I'm a house Negro either way. I mean,
well, I'm saying anybody that's living in the United States is a Negro. They're not Black American because that's a color. You ain't African Americans because that's named after two white people. This is not the point. You have to come and see yourself as not American because you would have to be African. So when you're in America, like Malcolm said, like Martin Luther King said, he was the Negro. The Negro wanted integration. The Negro wanted equal rights. The Negro, wanted equal, protection under the law, and that's what they fought for. It was a dream that didn't come true. So at the end of the day, you remain a Negro. Now, if you're trying to leave the United States, or you see yourself as an African, and then your mannerism and your goals in life now start steering you towards the motherland, then you're a field nigga. But if you're talking like I'm the ADOS, I'm American till I die, then you're a house Negro. Because you want to stay in the house of a master. Because a house Negro knows that the house is owned by the white man. And America is owned by a white man. The one who has oppressed you, the one who has lied to us, the one who has tricked us in every turn, the one who has spent billions and billions of dollars every year, propagandize our minds into believing a narrative that the United States is better than every other country in the world. Can you imagine when Trump on TV talking, he trying to make you believe that America is all this great, we got unemployment is low, and the economist is like, that's goddamn right. How you gonna reduce the interest rates and you got a country that's booming? No, it's jokes. So, we need to wake up and smell coffee. Look back at history. I know. They got people that say we're awake. We need to wake up. No, there's two types of awake. There's you sleep, you don't know shit and you don't know nothing, and then you wake up. And then there's I'm just gonna forget about this. I'm just gonna go to bed and sleep and not deal with the horrors and the realities of life. So when they hit you in the face, you pretend like you sleep and you ignore them. Too many of our people are out there faking rich, yet they want to be talking about I'm in the greatest country in the world. How you gonna be in the greatest country in the world? It's only got a matter of time. People gonna tell me the Chinese are the second largest economy. Hello, wake up. They passed the United States in 2014. So these lies I'm seeing on TV where China got the second largest economy. No, they passed you a long time ago. But they keep on slipping out these bits of propaganda to make you hear it, and then you think like, we're still number one. No, you're not number one. You're in a country that has told you clearly that the next black generation is going to be poorer than the previous generation. Now, where in the world do you hear such a thing? And then go look at your children and say, I love you, but I'm going to raise you in America. That's just death sentence. Somebody's generation got to get their shit together and say, look, tell the white man, look, I had enough. Okay, this is for all my ancestors, even back to slavery. I'm out. and go to where where the GDP is 6 and 7%, not 1 and 2%. And I'm talking about modern Africa. It's waiting for us. And any Negro that don't have an African plan is a house Negro. Any Negro that's considered them a field Negro got an African plan. So at least if the shit hit the fan, they got a way forward.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let me give a shout out. Shout out to Gerald Gill for the $5 super chat. Mm-hmm. Let me just do this real quick. For those people who want to subscribe to Amin Rahh, go to the first pinned comment below, and you can type in his channel. His channel is this Amin Rahh. You can Google him or YouTube search him. It's there. And guys, thank you for being here. Thank you. Like the video if you're here. Give an interesting question for you, Amin Rahh.
I'm waiting.
Since Black Americans are assuming that I am a house Negro, and I'm listening to what you're saying, because you do call me the house Negro. So, all right, I'm a house Negro. But my question to you is, okay, I'll concede your point. Africa is growing. The economy is growing. But how can you explain when you go to the U.S. Embassy in Africa, you know, it could be Lagos, it could be Nairobi, it could be Mombasa. I don't know if they have U.S. Embassy there. But you have so many Africans. When you run into Africans, they're always trying to talk to you about getting over to the United States. They want to go to the UK. They want to move. They want to get out of Africa. This is a talking point all the time. Why is that the case? Because when I go to Qatar, you don't hear people saying that. Or if you go to Singapore, you don't hear folks saying that. But you do hear that in Africa.
It's because of first of all, it's because of the movies that you had this great influx of Africans wanting to go to the United States. And that's not just there. America's movie industry is directly tied in with the government. They make movies that are really beautiful, and then they sell them over into Europe, and the Europeans want to come here. That's why you see the Statue of Liberty, bring me your huddled masses. You know, America had a thing where they were trying to promote America back in the 50s and 40s, saying, so that all the immigrants would bring their people here, and you could just make it one montage. So Africans also see that when they see these movies that are being made of America. You know, we might watch a movie and we're watching the plot and following the plot, but the African is watching the movie and looking at the streets, looking at the clothes that people wear. You know, he's looking at what kind of movie can I put there? He's looking at oh man, I can't think of a good movie. He's looking at a black movie, and seeing the actors and believing that those people can afford those type of houses, and all black people live like that, or this is what a real black neighborhood looks like. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they watch all of these type of movies like Power, and then they get this idea in their mind that, okay, this is the way America is, and then they're sadly disappointed. So when I did the research into how many Africans come back from America, I was told by the government officials that they don't keep that record. So they don't tell you how many Africans go back after they get there and see that this whole thing is a lie. You see, they don't keep that record. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so you know, that's the only reason. And I have sent Africans myself to America. Okay, so you know, help them get visas to go to America. And when I talk to them, they say the same thing. It wasn't what I expected. You know. And then what do they say? I'm just here for the money. Because as black people in America, a lot of them don't understand the exchange rate. You can get, when an African comes to realize that he can go there and mop floors and make the same amount of money that some executive makes for washing floors, he's like, oh shit, I'm gonna go for that. But not realizing that he's taking the best years of his life mopping floors, and that's what he has to explain to his children, which many of them hide from their children. Many Africans there are doing these menial jobs, and then coming home and telling their people that I'm a big executive, and then make more Africans go there and realize that it's not the same. It's not the reality. You know, but we black people, we already know what it's like to fake it rich. And the African comes here and he gets a quick crash course that's saying, like, you know, damn. I know an African brother came here, started working at a supermarket. They gave him a job at the supermarket, and he rose to the point of being in charge of the fruit section, vegetable section, and he was really proud of that. So he had been saving his money to buy a car. So he went out and saved the money, you know, to buy a used car. oh, he get this much money. He saw the car he wanted. So when he went to the car dealer, the dealer tricked him in buying a brand new car. So he came home with this brand new car. All his Kenyan friends that in the U.S. came, oh, wow, you see, we can make it in life. He started taking pictures, showing people, oh, I got my new car. When I looked at the contract that he had signed, he had signed the payment plan for 7 years, and it took half his paycheck. So it's like, he didn't realize it at first. He didn't want to hear it. Caught up in the American rap dream, and then it fell. 2-3 years later, he lost that job and lost that car. See, so this happens all the time. People don't want to talk about that. So life in America is not no dream state. You can't go walking around picking up gold nuggets off the ground in America. We all know that. But the African doesn't. The young Africans, impressionable Africans at 16 and 15 watch these movies, and then they get that in their head, and they don't want nothing to do with their country because they know they're going to the U.S. I've seen it. It's a mindset. I took 17 Africans to South Africa, and when we landed there, they were all supposed to get jobs, go look for jobs in Johannesburg. Mm-hmm. Half of them went, and the other half sat there in the bed. I walk into their rooms, and they 10, 11 o'clock in the afternoon, they sitting there watching goddamn TV. And then come 4 o'clock, they go home, go to the phone booth, call home, and beg their people to send them money because they can't find jobs. So this is Africans. So I've seen it. You got some Africans that's ready to do, know how to hustle, and other ones that are, mamas, they was not raised right. Hello, I'm here. He's typing. Supposedly 75. What's that?
Oh, I'm here. Sorry. So
I'm saying that some Africans are not raised right, and their parents just try to get them to America because it makes them look prestigious when they have children in America. And then the children are no good in America, and they come back to Africa, they're no good in Africa.
Mm-hmm. So then why then, Rahh, if that was the case, like if they can get paid the same thing for a janitor, if people are trying to escape Kenya to make more money, then the Negroes' understanding would be, well, okay, if they want to come here and make more money, then, and I'm making money here, then why would I go to Kenya when the economy is not there for making money if they're coming here?
Well, that's not true. There's 50 million Kenyans, and then how many of them go to the American embassy of that 50 million? They open the door. I've been to the American embassy with Africans, and I'm saying it ain't the line ain't that long. You know what I mean? You got these people, and many of them, when you look at them in the line at the embassy, they're returning for whatever other reason. And the embassy only gives them a certain time period to come in. So you ain't getting that influx, and the numbers of Africans going to America, sad to say, is reducing because of the opportunities that they see in their own country and that they're getting in their own country. So
what
this is
getting
that
right
whole thing. Well, the president was just talking about a plan that they have that he has signed and doing business with some other African countries and some outside countries, which was going to create jobs. Kenya has a major port, Mombasa port, and they're creating the Lamu port, which is going to, and then a pipeline that goes all the way through to South Sudan. So this is another area where a lot of jobs will be created. Planning the high-speed railway network from Nairobi to Kisumu, also area that's going to bring it. And we're seeing development all over the country. I think there was a blog name, but he was in Mombasa. Some of you guys know him. This guy's going around all through Kenya, and he was driving, and it was a traffic jam, and he came on and said, everywhere I've gone in Kenya, there's development. There's construction everywhere. And this is the facts. And in population size, every 25 years, you can expect this growth to continue. And that people are going to be caught up in the wave of jobs that are being created through on the basis of the infrastructure development that the Chinese are in business with, the Chinese are helping with Kenya.
Ogle TV says ADOS
So
will go. Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your statement.
yeah, I was looking in the chat, and there was a guy that said, "How can this guy have martial arts?" Uh, I developed my martial art in the United States for 10 years, and then I came to Kenya with that martial art. I started with one Shamba boy, and now we're the highest number of martial arts students in Kenya are from my martial arts style. So you can look me up on Facebook. You can get the details. It's always open. You can see the pictures, and pictures worth 1,000 words to see if I'm joking with you or not. And then somebody else was saying, Amara owes taxes. Okay, Amara don't owe taxes. I worked in corporate America for 15 years, and I walked off corporate America in 2000. I mean, in 1992. So I don't owe taxes. If someone else is going to say Amara owes child support, this is a lie. Okay, so if somebody else is going to say that Amara is a criminal, okay, that's also a lie. So you've got to keep digging so you might choose, so you can find something. But I'm a black conscious man, and I'm a righteous man, and I live my life like that. And you can make those stories up, but trust me, many have, and they don't stick. Okay.
Ogle TV says ADOS will go to Africa when it's all nice and convenient. By then, opportunities will be far less significant. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah. By then means that they're never going to go. I have a lot of brothers that come here. There's a brother that told me he got to wait until he's coming to Africa. He's definitely coming, but he wants to collect and save up $50,000 before he comes. Now he's never had $50,000 in his life, but he's telling himself that I'm on the process of coming to Africa when I get $50,000. That way I know what to do with the money. And these are the lies we tell ourselves, psychological deterrents. To keep us from doing action now. Right now, you should have an action plan. If you ain't got a passport, then you really know you're in serious psychological damage. You believe in and trusting in the United States too much, and it has failed us generation after generation after generation. Now, if they say that the next generation is going to be poorer than the next, if they say gentrification has removed most of the black communities, and we don't even know one that's a black community now, then really, what are you banking on? Because you're going to tell me how you can have a black identity without a community. How? How can you have a black identity if you don't have community? We getting our ass kicked, and we just acting like that shit don't matter. But Harlem is gone. God damn it! In the 1920s, that was all black. That was the black. We created it. You see what I'm saying? Detroit used to be the biggest black city. Gone. South Central. The rap industry grew from South Central. Many black movies started in South Central. And what happened? Today it's Mexicanville. Mexicans have taken it over. They got Mexican mayors. We're gone. We're being destroyed, and we don't even want to talk about that. We want to talk about Amon-Ra's missing tooth, or Amon-Ra is bad, or you see, you're going to get off the keyboard clowns, and then you're still going to be in that same soup, and you're not even going to bother them to spend some time investigating into modern Africa and see what's really going on. I don't know how many of them even know anything about the African Free Trade Agreement that this got activated in July. They don't know nothing about that. It's because the propaganda of the United States keeps it from you, and therefore you are a product of your environment.
Let me talk to you about this then. Courtney says, move to Africa to own a fruit stand doesn't sound so appealing. Your thoughts on that comment?
Maybe in Ghana. Ghana is too small. So these brothers that go to Ghana and they come back and I can hear you. I hear you. Because Ghana is too small. I don't know why black people are going to Ghana for their first trip to Africa. It's surrounded by Franco countries, and it's heavily dependent on the minerals of the country. Some place like Kenya is far better because it's diversified. When America's economy crashed in 2008, I was in Kenya. I never felt a thing. I didn't even know that America was having this crisis. You see, and Kenya is more than twice the size of Ghana, and it is a part of a East African community, which will soon include DR Congo, and it'll be the biggest community in Africa. So I suggest that any blacks that come into Africa for the first time, don't go to Ghana. Somehow they're lying to you. This thing they want you to come there, they need you. But in Kenya, it's much more opportunity. It's much Tanzania next door, which is one of the top 5 fastest growing economies in the world. You got Ethiopia next door, which was the #1 fastest growing economy in the world. And the growth there potential is fantastic. So when you talk about agribusiness, yeah, that's all you can do in Ghana. That's the #1 business in Ghana, agribusiness. You see what I'm saying? And I don't recommend that. Now, I work in ICT. I work in IT. I have a company called ccgate.com, and we're digitalizing all primary academic syllabus and letting it be allowed to work on government tablets. Now, the government in Kenya has given tablets to every primary school, and they don't have the software, and my company is providing that software. That's after the martial arts. It can say it's included in martial arts because there are different streams of income, and the growth is continuous because the population grows so fast here compared to the United States, which is almost negative amongst whites, and blacks is like 2% growth. So even if you open up a black business in the United States, you've got to depend on Mexicans to make your business grow to any kind of seriousness. And how many whites and Mexicans come into a black-owned business? I rest my case.
All right, let's see what we have here. A lot of people in the chat. Guys, make sure you like the video. Questions that people want to ask. There's too many dollars in the chat, so if you want to ask a question, you need to hit that $sign because it's like the chat moving too fast. Let me ask you this then. Because people will say you've never been to Ghana before. All right, so you've never been to Ghana.
I've never been to Ghana.
Okay, then.
But I did research on Ghana, and that research included talking to black people that was in Ghana. And one of the people that I talked to on my invitation came to Kenya, and I was able to interview him thoroughly because he had worked for an NGO for 2 years in Accra. And we went through the whole geometrics of it. We went through the whole spiel. He explained everything to me, the way the life works there. Ghana, it's more expensive to live in Ghana than it is to live in Kenya.
So that's I know that.
Yeah. So, but most black people don't get this, and they don't understand that. So, the housing situation in Ghana is as such that you either gonna be living in almost mud hut, or you're gonna be living in the condos where the blacks live. And when they put you in that area, the rents are ridiculously overpriced compared to Kenya, where they just don't care. The landlord see you tell them I'm Black American, they like, oh really? And then you follow through the same process. They're not. Kenya is too big for people to be hoping that Black Americans come in numbers. So that's why another reason why I say Kenya is far better to come to than Ghana. A lot more opportunities in Kenya.
Olga TV says, I'm a rock. Internet has improved.
Kenya got the #1 beach in Africa. So
Mombasa. Okay. Olga TV, Amin Ross, internet has improved. Thank you, brother Olga TV, for the super chat. Amin Ra. There's gonna be a lot of responses to this video, but the quality of life. Oh shit, Lewis Luck. He gave $50 to Axe. He said, wait, I'm sorry, man. Let me put my glasses. You see the comment on the screen, Amara?
No, which one is that? I see something about corporate America. Yeah, I left corporate America.
No. He says that Lewis Luck says, do you got citizenship yet, buddy?
That same old thing with the citizenship. Okay, I've done countless videos on the issue of the citizenship. People are digging into my personal life and wondering what's going on. there's a many of us here in Kenya who have status issues. And I was in immigration about 3 weeks ago, and I'm going to the American Embassy again. The Kenyan government lost my passport, and we're in that type of limbo. But that's my situation personally. Okay, so if I wanted to get all that straight, I'd have to pay a lot of money to both the embassy for a passport and the Kenyan government for status. So we're in the process. That's all I can say. I've been saying that for the longest. So
okay, but like deal. Even when you first came, like was it because people will say, okay,
you see, you know, they talk about, you see, black people in Africa are not going to really go into that discussion because, you know, you have haters there, and we all feel that unnecessarily they can just attack me or do something, say something to somebody, and then have me, you know, I don't think I'll be deported, but I mean, you know, give me problems or give us problems. And then that's the same with Africans in America. So they, you know, you have to understand that. So, you know, you can't focus on the facts that I'm talking about. So here we are shooting the messenger. And this just goes to my point about black people not being able to help each other.
Well, let me read Reginald Morton. Thank you, Brother Reginald Morton. How's the cannabis industry in Africa? I'll ask that. Well, is there a cannabis industry in Africa that you can, you know, I know Uganda was talking about doing something similar, but
there ain't nothing like that, buddy. You going to jail. You going to Syria fooling around with marijuana in this country. You're going to jail. So jail, serious jail. They're gonna put you on the news and then throw your ass in jail. So understanding about that shit is not gonna happen in Africa. The same way with gayism, they're not gonna tolerate that here. You know, no. Don't come thinking that you're gonna sell marijuana in Kenya. Now Uganda is doing it. I hear that Uganda is selling marijuana to foreign countries, but that's all for profit. But for the people, no. Guns are not allowed in African countries, and neither is marijuana.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to okay. So basically,
I'm not Jamaican.
Yeah. So all right, this guy is actually in Kenya. This is a Kenyan guy for sure. I know him. Amin Rahh did F himself up when he went to live in Mombasa instead of investing in arable areas.
Yeah, we're talking about ADOS versus you know, living in modern Africa. People keep on talking about Amin Rahh. So you see, that's off the point. Nobody really knows me. This is just YouTube. This is just social media. Taking it to the extreme. Somebody on the keyboard trying to make a name for themselves. Let's stay on point.
Okay.
So to talk about fools that are talking about me.
Mm-hmm. So Amin Rahh, like,
now, see, you know, that is a saying, because I really wanted to be on your show, brother. You know, Dynas is saying we keep having communication. Dynas is saying Dynas is saying Nigeria. But the problem with Nigeria, okay, I know I'm gonna get some rocks thrown at me, is that it got too many uneducated people. They got over more than 10 million young people that don't go to school, and they come in their own religion, their own cultural, you know, mystical. I'm gonna say it, but like voodoo kind of understanding, and when they mix into the normal society, you get all of these kind of weird issues talking about Nigerians are bad people, and they're making Nigeria have a bad name. So I say that Nigeria's situation, as far as reputation, is partly to blame because there's so many kids that just never even go to school.
Mm-hmm. That's the problem with Nigeria, but Nigeria is the king of Africa, though, right now.
No, now they're not the king of Africa. Kenya is number 3 in ease of doing business in Africa. They used to be 121st in ease of doing business, But Kenya has put serious efforts into making it easier for people outside to do business in Africa. And now you can get your business license as an American in less than 24 hours. So you can open up a business and have it registered in your name if you're coming from America in 24 hours. So the index that keeps track of that has now moved Kenya to 61st, third in Africa.
I'm in Rahh. Search for a Huru's on the screen right there. He says that's not true at all. No, and you know, also Dynas,
Google how many people don't have education in Nigeria, and they're going to tell you 10 million children don't have.
What if that's fake
news?
Not in the educational what if that's system? Fake news, like the slavery stuff? It's fake news. That could be fake news.
Well, that's what I had said. That's what I had discovered today when I was preparing myself when I would make this statement.
Okay.
Because I research everything. But that has been the case all along. That the problem with Nigeria, quiet as it's kept, is that there's so many people, the government can't, control all of them, protect them. So this kind of things are what's happening, and it is because the government is not large enough to control that many millions and millions and millions of people. So you don't have that in Kenya. You don't have that in Tanzania. 99% of education is free as far as going even in the secondary. So everybody that is in primary school is going to be placed in secondary school in Kenya. This is one of their goals, to re-educate their system, to educate their people. And they have come up with a new curriculum that is that they're putting out. It's up to class 3 now. And it doesn't entail having an A, a B, or a C grade. They're going to be, the students are no longer going to be classified A, B, with grades. They're going to be assessed. And this is something that the government is committed to because they want more creative thinkers coming out of Kenya in the next 10 years. And they're going to get it. So the more you know about what's going on in Kenya and you compare it with other African countries, the better you'll see. Now, Nigeria they still have the same educational system that they had 20 years ago because nobody would dare try to change. It's a monumental task for a country that has so many people. And that's a problem. Place. Even me, I want to go there, but this is some of the problems that they have with Nigeria.
One Titans, thank you, my brother. Why is the focus always on Black Americans? Brazil has 80 million Black people. No discussions of the rest of the diaspora going back to Africa?
Okay, that's true. I can't say that, and I did some small attempts to go into the Brazilian situation, but when I saw that they had the crime rate towards Black and the police brutality towards Brazilians, I didn't even want to go there because I have a passion for my people, and I didn't want to be getting caught up wasting energy on people who I didn't even know, don't even speak English. So that's a true point. I don't know why they don't, and I wonder. But they know one thing: the Spanish they was whipping some ass in South America when they came. They really romped them in South America. They murdered off so many people, cut their heads off, forced them to give out their gold. They murdered them anyway, shot them in the back, used them for game practice. They did so many horrible things under Columbus. That drove the South American natives into upper areas of North America, where it's the United States today. And those are descendants of the Indians that are there. They came up, migrated up from South America, only to be caught up in the horrible, horrible weather in North America. And same with the British when they came. They got caught. They got them tornadoes and things like that. It really was not able to inhabit the 13 colonies like that because of the serious problems with the weather until they got the African to develop it for them. Now in South America, they didn't have that problem because the weather was, good around the equator, and with that good weather, they were able to really destroy the African. So people don't know that the British tried to go and land in South America, and they couldn't. They were killed as soon as they got there. So they kept going up until they got to Florida, and then that's when they saw that they could get off the boat, and the natives was few. And then when winter came, they realized, oh shit, that's why nobody's here. And America doesn't talk about the horrible, horrible weather, the deadly weather that in America. America's not a good continent when it comes to living because it has so many weather disasters. You know, from earthquakes to deserts to tornadoes to hurricanes. You know, something like 300 hurricanes this year alone in America. But they don't want to talk about freezing snow temperatures that kill people even in 2019. You can imagine what it was doing to people in the 1700s and the 1600s. That's why Africa is so much better than America. People don't really realize the benefit of being in a place where the weather is constant all year round, beautiful and sunny, and no natural disasters coming wiping out your whole house. So anyway, I think he's got off the line and left me here.
No. I want to get some opinion, but shout out to my boy Gay. But I think I can answer. I think I can answer why the it's not Black Brazilians. I mean, I'll tell you why the focus is not on them. They're broke. Black Brazilians don't have no money. That's the truth.
Blacks in America don't have money either.
They got more than them. The Black Americans have more of an opportunity to, and also Brazilians don't really speak English. That's another thing too. That's the thing. Like Black Americans have more skill set than a lot of Black Brazilians. So that's why the focus is more on them to come to Africa.
Well, I think that because America, the Blacks in America were able to come to national attention during the 60s. Mm-hmm. And then right after that, rap music, soul music, Temptations, and then the movies, we get a lot of play because those movies are all over I'm sure they're all over South America because they're all over Africa. So that's how we got a lot of attention. But as far as economics are concerned, they're kicking our ass. How you gonna own less than 1% of the wealth of America? That's like you just a guess. You see what I'm saying? So we don't have a black. If we had a black middle class, we would have a black community. The black middle class is what generates the black community. But since they wiped out the black community, wiped out the black middle class, the black community has no foundation. And therefore, it doesn't exist. And therefore, whites say, look at this land. These niggas ain't serious. Let's knock them all out and regentrify so to be up to our standards. And that's what they're doing all around the country because blacks are being economically oppressed. And then ADOS got the nerve to think like in their mind that somewhere along the line they're gonna fucking do a 360 and give you money. It's impossible. Impossible, 100%. So the only alternative that we as black people have, and we only have one alternative, and that is to move out of America. For the sake of our children, for the sake of the next generation, America is not being our friend. What do you do when you're in a guard game and then you realize you've been cheated? Do you continue to play? No. You turn over the table and walk out the room. This is what we don't do because our black leaders are not telling us that the population of blacks in America is decreasing. It's not increasing. So if the population is decreasing, they have us in imprisonment but in great numbers. The police are being militarized now. What do you see in the future? You see? So if ADOS even was given money, what would an ADOS average black person do if he got a check in the mail for $500,000? He'd be happy. He'd go buy some pizza. He'd go buy some new clothes. He'd go do buy. And then what are you gonna do? You gonna buy a house? Technically, when you buy a house in a black neighborhood, the chances of that house increasing in value is almost nil. That's what most black people tell you. When you go out, that's what people talk about their property value. People don't talk about that. When you talk about real estate, you start thinking like, oh, that's big money. No, most cases it's not big money. It depends. It's a strategic way to look at things. And if you got property in the black community and you buy a house in the black community, then surely that house may not even go up in value for 20 years. Think about what I'm telling you, because the other people are telling you real estate is booming. That's bullshit. It might be booming for whites, but it ain't gonna be booming for blacks. So you got 500, you almost got a house, and you move out in the suburbs where there's not, but you're moving away from black people. So you think you got a better deal living outside of the black community and not having that structure. Your economic base is destroyed because you're going to go spend your money at the local places, and they're not going to be taking that money to the black man. They're going to be taking that to their own Iranian community, Arab community, Mexican community. You see? So 20 years from now, you have nothing to turn over to your children.
Let me read the super chat.
Black people are not realizing that there's a game, and we want to attack Rahh because he give you a voice of common sense over a span of 40 years and telling you this is the reality of the situation. We on the Titanic, and you running around the deck trying to talk about the ship ain't gonna sink.
They don't want to
every day,
right?
Every day the ship sinks. Every day it sinks a little bit more, but we don't see it. We just accept it like, oh, that's okay. Let the water rush on the bridge, on the deck a few times. It's okay. You see, it ain't gonna get worse. But think about where I was when I grew up in the 60s and 70s. And I saw there was no such thing as AIDS. There was nothing like the news, the way the news talks today. You see what I'm saying? So today what you have is some sort of crazy montage where the news can just lie to you. You understand what I'm saying to you? They can bomb the fucking 912 minus 1. 911. So they can bomb the building, and the building number 74, they can never have a reason for it. They can do a report and say never even talk about the building that failed. They can show you a hole in the Pentagon not big enough for a plane to get into, but make you believe that there's a plane that went into that space. They could drop a plane in Philadelphia. You rush down there and go see there's no plane. The people say there was no plane that died. There was just a hole that people dumped some trash in, and then they said that was a plane crash. You see, what won't we believe? What won't we as black people go for in this country?
I'm right. BMT Black Male Talk says how Huru became a prince faster than this guy who's been there longer. Also, what insurances does your area have?
I talked to somebody that knows Uhuru personally, and we were out hanging out together, and I asked him all about it, and he was like, he didn't want to be president. That was something that Moy promised his father, that the son would be be president, and when you talk to him personally,
no. I mean, search for Uhuru in Nigeria.
There are more people interested in what I'm saying than this person that's asking this silly question, but Uhuru didn't want to be president. But you see, he came from a rich family. He been in Africa. So when these people start talking about he's corrupt, it's like, what for? How are you gonna be corrupt? You all that, and you got millions at your disposal. And his mother is richer than him, and she's still alive. So you don't know the truth. You're just trying to look at things and make cute things type on the keyboard. But meanwhile, black people are slipping further and further down in America, and it's no doubt that many of us are going to sink with that ship. And it's really not necessary. Get yourself an African plan, get yourself a passport, make a plan to come visit Africa. And I guarantee you, when you just walk around Africa for your own, don't listen to any propaganda, and then come and see for yourself. Then you'll see like, okay, you've been lied to. I'm on this channel today because when I came here 22 years ago, I was lied to. And I was angry. God damn, I was black conscious up to that point. But when you come, and when I got here and saw that they had lied about Africa and the Africans, it made me even more mad, you see? So I opened up my own, I wrote a book. I'm a published author. I wrote a book, Black Man's Guide to Moving, Living, and Visiting Africa and Doing Business in Africa. I wrote a book. It's on Amazon if you want to go look for it. Back in 2005, you see? I sat down for a whole year and just wrote that book because I have a passion from our people way back then before this thing became popular like it is today. Trying to explain to you people back then, that was before the 2008 crisis. Everybody was making big money. So they didn't listen to me in the book. But now you see the suffering has continued. Now you got almost another generation of people here like, hey, I'm not getting this, got problems. Now it's becoming to be talked about. Now 10 years from now, shit, people will be like, what's that person's name? Oh, I gotta write this, I gotta look at his videos. Yes. And you go back into the day and listen to me, and I'm telling you, you're wasting your time. ADOS is just another dream that ain't gonna come true. and that our people are suffering, and you letting your children suffer along with them. They're getting worse education. They can get a far better education in Africa, and it would be cheaper. You're getting worse food, nasty ass food than America, making us die even before. You got teenage pregnancy is a super big problem. You got gender wars, black men hating on black women. It's all messed up. You don't have no black community. See, when I was there, I remember the pride I had when a Kenyan came to America, and I was driving around South Central, down Western Avenue, down Vernon, down Slauson, showing them this is where I live, this is the hood, man. See, and everywhere we walked, it was black people. Go there today. It's nothing like that. He'd be looking at me like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's all I see is Mexicans. You see? So what's it going to be like 10 years? You think it's all of a sudden going to turn around and black people going to come and take over? Hell no. They whooping our ass. Through abortion, we're dying off. Through all the black male imprisonment can't have children, can't birth children. Every which way they got us tanked, they got us down, they count to 3, and then they pull up our shoulders on 2 and laugh at us, then push us back down again. We getting our ass whooped. Meanwhile, here in modern Africa, it's booming. I'm here. I'm looking all around. Now you can call me all kind of names, but goddamn it, I'm looking at this and I'm like, and so what that mean? You shouldn't come here? I'm a living example. It can work. You see? Drop all that propaganda nonsense. Look at the situation in America and stop. The white man ain't gonna help you. We just because we have that Negro mentality built inside us, it feels good to talk shit about Africans and the Chinese and all these people, when in actuality, America is the one that's the worst. The American military murdered 150 Germans, let them starve to death in concentration camps. But you can't find no evidence of Jews being burned in ovens in Germany or even in Auschwitz. But if I talk like that, I'm gonna disappear because the Jews gonna come after me. Imagine. Why would they come after me if it was a lie? Huh? Look what Google did. David Cole, he disappeared because he went to Auschwitz and proved that it was not true. And that's one of the greatest lies America has, that Hitler was a bad person all the way around. He didn't try to contact, the man tried to contact Britain many times to avoid war, but they wrote that shit out of history. Now, if they can write that out of history to the day where we even believe that, then what can't they do? They're going to tell you, let's bring it up to date. They're going to tell you that Gaddafi was the leader of Libya. The man was never the leader. He was a private citizen. He had not been in charge of Libya since 1972. Go look it up and Google it. But American propaganda had us believing that Gaddafi was calling the shots. He was running the country. He was not. He was the leader of the revolution, as he said, but he wasn't in charge of the government. He didn't make those choices of what goes on in the Libyan government. So when they start telling you he killed his own people, he did all this, these are all baseless lies. That your country that you want to live in, that you're defending with your heart, it did. Created. I mean, we was fighting in the military too, black people. And they was hanging us in our uniform. They wiped out Black Wall Street, a prosperous city, and nobody went to jail for it. And then later, what did the news say? What did the propaganda news say? That only 2 people died in Black Wall Street. Yeah, so you got 2 graves. So don't tell me.
I think what BMT was saying was.
Keep that nonsense to somebody.
I think what he's trying to say is, Dynast, how can Dynast get citizenship in Nigeria, but you've been there in Kenya for a long time? So it's probably better to go to Nigeria than Kenya because Dynast got citizenship and you've been there for 21 years and you have these issues and stuff. So why would somebody go to Kenya versus Nigeria?
My issues is caused by the United States, not by the Kenyan government. So it's not.
But you said the Kenyans lost the passport, or the United States?
The Kenyans lost the passport, but that's the issue I have is with the United States. Okay, so you want to focus on me, and you're just looking at every word that come out of my mouth, so you can take it and analyze it, and then say, "Oh, I can get it." You see, but come on, I'm 61 years old. Surely, do they want me? They don't want me. Nobody really wants me either in the United States or in Kenya. What? So what? You know what I'm saying? So, you're hanging on every little word I say. Oh, I got to turn it around and twist it, and then we got to get it. No. You ain't the first ones in this chat room to start talking that nonsense. I have done show after show about that issue. So feel free. Feel free to go do all that nonsense. Talk about me. I'm illegal in the country. I'm a wanted man in America. We went all into that. Now let's talk about the goddamn facts. And the fact of the matter is that we're dying in America, and you, instead of talking about that, you're looking at me trying to shoot the messenger. It's a sad case for Black people.
Shout out to BMT.
But I understand. But I understand it. I understand it clearly. There are Black people. Look at Malcolm. You murdered him. Look at Marcus Garvey. You let him be deported. You ain't gonna do nothing but hurt on our own people, and it's a sad case. See, so there are a lot of things that I could do and say and do, but I won't take it to that limit. This is about the limit you can get me, because I'm not gonna go out like Malcolm if I can avoid it. So I can come on here in publicly and talk to people, and I'm trying to be honest and sincere. My Facebook page is wide open, so you can dig all the way through. I know people are there now, digging all through the pictures and trying to figure out. So you're going to tackle on this issue. I have already gone and been back and forth with all the paperwork that I need, for as far as my status is concerned. And I've talked to government officials, both at the embassy in America and in Kenya, and there's a confusion. So in that confusion, I'm not going to rush to the embassy the next day. I could take my time, and that's what Kenya allows me. So it's not like a major issue with me. Having citizenship in a country isn't the major point. The point is, can I feed my family? And are you going to allow me to continue to do that, or are you going to make sure you make it your priority to attack me because I have a family? You see? So this is the issue that we face in every chat. I mean, there's so many. Look at Phil on the Advice Show. Phil on the Advice Show worked his ass off to try to give Blacks information that was pertinent. And when he had that trouble with the Advice Show, he shut the channel down because Black people didn't support it. They want to talk about it, talk all kind of shit. But I understand you. And I had the same love like Malcolm had for my people, but I'm not going to take it that far. So when you run through my Facebook and look through thousands of pictures of me being prosperous in Kenya, looking for that one photo that you can use against me, surely take a look at the other 999 photos that you looked at. Come on, be real.
Black Male Talk asks, what STEM program can they give the ADOS kids in Kenya?
What is that? STEM? What is a STEM?
STEM is like math, science, engineering, stuff like that.
What STEM program can they give to ADOS kids there? Okay, what does she mean by ADOS? Because I'm thinking that is
African American. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
What STEM program? You got me with the STEM program.
Like
there must be another name.
Science, engineering, stuff like that.
We're working on that with my program with nccgate.com. And we really have a lot of trouble because we're trying to digitalize maths, algebra type questions. And if there's somebody that is really good in math that can help me out in ICT type of that, please contact me. Because we're doing great things with digitalizing the content for primary school, and we could use some help with in the area of math. So we're able to digitalize fractions and percentages, but to deal with circumference of a circle and volume, this is areas where you're finding a little bit challenging. But we will overcome it like we always do.
Let me ask, the Dollar Washer says, why can't I just go to Africa and be accepted if I'm of African descent? Why so many obstacles?
Okay, there's not any obstacles. I have just told you that Kenya has risen from 121 to 61 as far as ease of doing business in Africa. the country is really catering towards people coming into the continent and being able to get into the mainstream. As an American, right now, you can go to ecitizen.co.ke and log on and have a business license within 24 hours. So I don't know what you're talking about as far as not doing ease of business. The Kenyan people are welcoming, and they do give us black people a benefit of the doubt when we come here and talk about doing business. So it's nothing but love. If you treat the people with respect, if you don't think you know more than they do, and don't think that you come from the fourth world country and they're in a third world country. Kenya is not a third world country. It's a second world country now. Yeah, middle income country. So you can't come here thinking that you, as a black American, are better than they are. They all know we broke, but they still give us love. You know,
wait a
and
minute.
African,
They all know we broke. Wait. What do you mean by when you say that?
I'm saying, okay, a lot of when you take it for the professional women here that are in the tourism, and they get if you ask them, because they get clients from all around the world, and they get British people, they get Arab people, and these men want to have women to go out with them and hang out and do things, and they can tell you that when the African Americans come, they don't have money. You see, so where they can get somebody coming from a white person coming here, that person will take them on a cruise or take them to the best restaurants and wine and dine with them. But when a black man comes here, he's looking at them like, what can we eat for free? Or what's the lowest price food? And it becomes a stigma, and it's been true for decades that I know since I've been here. Black people don't have money.
So basically, when black Americans come to Kenya, they're dusty, they're broke.
No, their income is much more limited than other people from other countries. Mm-hmm. So black Americans come here, they know they don't have money. They say even black Brit have more money than the black American when he comes here.
That black British have more money than black Americans?
Yeah, black British have more money. Their money is more powerful in Kenya anyway. But I'm saying you can black American come here and he can live large for like a week or 2 weeks, then he's done. See? But white people come here, they stay for 4 months, 6 months, they stay one whole season. And
their money long, huh?
A large income. And this is just natural. This is obvious. You can see that if you come here and see for yourself. I live here for 21. I've seen it many, many times.
So let me ask you this then.
They know we don't have money. But they even tell you don't have money. That's not the African way.
Okay, yeah, because I'm one of these broke ass African Americans too. So tell me, what I need, because when I go to Africa, I always use pounds, British pounds. So shout out to my brother Dr. Falcon Black. Tell me how much money a month, because I am broke. No, you got to pray for me, because I'm a broke nigga. What do I need to have if I want to live nice in Nairobi on an American standard? Because I want to be able to stay 6 months like these white folks. I'm in Rahh. What I need to do? Tell me, please. What I got to do?
If you come into Africa, one of the things you have to realize is the exchange rate will boost you. It'll put you in another income bracket, a higher one. So that's the first thing. So if you're on Social Security and you're barely getting by, if you move to Kenya or an African country, that you would live with better weather, better food, better peace, no shootings, no guns. The black Africans respect their elders far better than they do in the United States. You live a much comfortable life. So you can live in, like, I have a lady, an American lady from LA. She's 76. Yeah, 76. And she's on my channel. I did a show, visited her house. It's on my channel if you want to go see it. And she has Social Security money coming in, and she was a retired school teacher. So she pays something like $300 a month for a 2-bedroom house, apartment, in the upscale area of Mombasa. And I'm saying she lives very comfortably. She does comfortably. Whereas if she was in America, in her own words, she said she'd be destitute. She'd have to live with her relatives, money that she's making now if she was in America. Live independent of herself, and she, and just wonderful, And I go visit her all the time, and she's much more happier in Kenya. Now she might not say certain things. She'll always say, "No, that's not true, 100%." But in the fact of the matter is, when it comes to standard of living, you can live a lot larger in an African country on the same amount of money that you'd be living in a poor neighborhood in the United States. So you tell me, because some people are calling me a clown, but what that got to do with what I'm telling you? Does that make what I'm saying not true? Because I told you I'm a clown because I told you this. I'm waiting because I wouldn't get on the show and talk something that I don't know nothing about. So who's the clown? The person, these are keyboard clowns. Just get mad. That's the first reaction when you hear things that you don't understand, is to attack the messenger. So you go here and you have to say these things about me. You ain't never met me. You don't know nothing about me. But you just see, because what I'm saying is so hurtful to you because you didn't realize it yourself, that now you have to attack me. But tomorrow you'll feel better. You'll think about what I'm saying to you. And then I would hope that you wouldn't, I won't take it against you. I hope you could change your mind and rethink this that you have in the United States. ADOS ain't not going to get no money. So you keep on, they can keep on talking all that. Even Tone Talks is now having shows when he's not even mentioning ADOS. So you see, that's just a fad that's going to go away.
So basically, let me ask you this. If I have $5,000 a month, I mean, I don't have that kind of money because, again, I'm still broke. But if I had that kind of money, $5,000 a month in Mombasa, would I be middle class? Would I be upper class? Would I be just getting by?
You'd be royalty. You'd be rich at 500 US dollars a month. If you can get a check, if you got a security check or retirement check, $500 and up, oh, you're living like a king. You're living like a king. So no, you'd be living like a king, and you'd be slapping yourself for not coming in sooner than you did. Those people that are saying that I don't know what I'm talking about, they've never been to Africa, you need to come. Stop following all the propaganda and come. So many civilizations have fallen with the people suffering because they didn't see it coming. You see, they didn't see it coming. But in the United States, they're doing it very slowly. Okay, and one generation after next, it was very important from them to warn you with that news article that saying that the next generation is going to be poorer than the next generation. It is no accident that you got a Chinese American running for president telling you that AI is going to take away all the rest of the jobs that blacks had in America. We forget that General Motors just laid off 150,000 workers in America, yet they did 9 years record business, $9 billion worth of business. White people in the Senate and in the House of Representatives, the same place you got to go to get your ADOS money, decided that it was okay for General Motors and other major companies in America to go take their businesses to China. You get what I'm saying? So the Chinese is making money in their factories. They're paying money and residuals to the white company bosses and owners. And the black man's on the street looking for crumbs. Detroit is a classic example. But Amin is a clown. Amin is a bad guy. Amin don't know what he's talking about. You see? That just lets me know that I know exactly what the hell I'm talking about, and you are upset about it. But somebody got to shake us up. Let's make us stop seeing reality. You got to get away. The greatest enemy of the black man, and let me repeat this again, the greatest enemy of the black man on the universe is Western mass media propaganda, news, and entertainment. The more you let yourself be educated by the news, the more you're going to be where you go. You're going to stay a nigga in the America. Turn the news off. The fear that you have is been programmed into you. Save your little coins. You can get a trip to round trip to Kenya or Africa for less than $600 now if you look for it. And so therefore, uh, there's no real excuse for you not to try to come to Africa and see for yourself. Then come here and call me a clown. Yeah. So.
Oh my God. Cut to the chase is crazy. He said, man, boy, if you don't bring your black ass back to America.
Yeah. Listen, I had an opportunity to come. Am I online? Am I there? Am I still online? Oh shit. For this guy cut to the chase TV, I had an opportunity to come back in the year 2000. And I had my plane money and I was all ready to go. And I called home to see what was happening. And I talked to my cousin. I said, man, what's going on? I'm coming back. He's like, hey, what's going on there? He's like, nothing. I said, what you mean? Nothing? Nobody? Anybody died? No, nobody died. Everybody just the same. So I got off the phone with him. I started thinking about it, like, what I'm going to do when I go there? Who I'm going to stay with? I'm going to be sitting there watching soap operas where everybody's off to work. You see? So I decided to take that money and then go for the trip to 6 African countries. It was the best decision I ever made because I was able to see so many things. And I didn't miss nothing at home. Hell, today we got Facebook. Today we got, social media. I can talk to my family anytime I want. And what do they tell me? Ain't nothing happening here, bro. All my friends that I grew up with, my best friends, all died. Drug overdose. This one just dropped dead from ill health. The other one, he was crazy when I was there. Then he just died. It's like, well, I'm coming home to see who. And what I'm gonna see when I come to my old neighborhood? Just a bunch of Mexicans, and it's just gonna make me depressed. There's no reason for me to come back to America. The America I knew is gone.
Mm-hmm. So, but and you left that America anyway, so it's not like you wanted to go back, right?
When I came, I had my mission was to stay 3 months and go back. But when I started to see that my martial art business was acceptable and people wanted to do it, it made me end up staying. So that's what happened in my story. I think I've mentioned it many times. So yeah, I'm just one person. There are other people that are here, and those that have stayed, they don't have any real issues with the life in Africa or living in Africa. These people have their own individual. I got one brother. He bought a car, he bought a house, and he went back to the United States with his 21-year-old wife, and he said. So
how old is he?
All of us are looking at him like, why did you do that? He's 70. And his wife is 21. I was best man at his wedding. So I was like, yeah, you just look at him and just, that's what he wants. He's retired. He was a military guy. He retired and that's what he wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And he told us, I'm going to America and get my girl citizenship, then I'm going to come back with her. We still waiting. But the majority of us, we're here. Some of us got to go back to the United States because they need to make money there, and then that's the idea. But for me, I'm an intelligent person. I had skills. I had my own business when I was in the U.S., so I was able to make it grow in Africa far greater. And I'm saying that it's very much possible. I'm going to be doing a show called "The Wonders of Africa," but how do I make a living? And I will be discussing that. Make a living. When you first get off the plane.
Guys, here in the chat, I don't know after this stream, if you guys want me to air the Miss Curvy rates, I got a new episode. I can air it right now if we have. Well, let me ask you this, guys. Who knows my channel, King Ganda? Let me know if you guys know about King Ganda, because if we can get some people over to King Ganda, I'll air the episode right now as a bonus, right before the Sunday Rumble. But yeah. So let me know if you guys want me to air it up. Jason Bourne just stumbled on this channel. We don't know the answer, brother. Shout out to Jason. So the answer is union for. Do Africa has unions? Is that do Africa has unions?
What? Unit?
Unions.
Unit?
No, like
What
you
do
know,
you mean
like
units?
unions, like
Oh,
UNIONS.
they have what you call, yeah, they have teachers union, the teacher service commission is there. They have them, and they're very powerful. Right now, a lot of the teachers don't want to change to the new curriculum, but the government is saying that's going to happen. So in Kenya, definitely they have them. Where there's larger groups of teachers, there's more teachers than I think anybody else, and they have a big, strong union. They always asking for more money and that kind of thing. Same like in the United States. They don't go on strike nowadays, but back in a few years ago, teachers went on strikes for over more money. So, which is the case in anywhere you go. Even in America, they had the teachers went on strike. But yeah, they have unions. But
Okay,
the Africans here, you can't come here. You can't come here talking about 9 to 5. You can't come here talking about time and a half on Saturdays. This is what got America into the debt that it has today. Nowhere else do you see that kind of nonsense. Not even in Europe. Work days is like you better be there when the sun come up and don't leave until the work is done. Now me, I work like 12 hours a day, but that's because I have businesses that do that and that require that, and I love it. And there's a lot of work to do, and networking with different people. Right now, I have to meet. I have set a goal for myself to meet more people that are in areas that really can benefit my digital revision program. And starting next week, I'll be doing that, going out and meeting these movers and shakers, because you got to have that, what I mean, in business. Because otherwise, other people will come and knock your business out. This is not a black thing. This is not an African thing. This is just a business thing that has to be there when you talk about expanding. These company officials that make CEOs and things that make all these millions of dollars, I know now why they make that money, because they got a talent, and that talent is seriously lacking in America. So when you get one of these people that can come up and be successful, you better pay them right, because it takes courage to make money in Africa and make money, and I understand this. So black people shouldn't be attacking me. They should just understand that that's a normal thing, and that they should look at themselves and their own individual issues, as opposed to attacking somebody else, over the fucking chat line of somebody you don't even know nothing about, hoping that you're gonna throw rocks and somebody gonna yelp. No, I'm not the one for that. I'm fearless.
Real Brother Radio.
Not 100% fearless. I don't like rejection. I don't like rejection. And the higher I move up, I'm feeling like, it can be tough. So making money is not a real big priority in Africa like that. But it's easy to live here. It's easy to survive. But most Africans are not capitalists in nature.
Let me do this. Shout out to Real Brother Radio. Shame on blacks who believe Tone Talks and Yvette lying, pushing white nationalist nonsense. Hashtag RBR Network. Thank you, RBR. Guys, if I get 100 people clicking on this link, I will air Miss Curvy episode right now. Miss Curvy Uganda, one of their favorite girls, is there. Claire, that's the link. Ochi, I asked about welfare. There is no such thing as welfare in Africa, BMT. You do have like the national health system, but I don't think it's that great. But so that's the link right here to my Kinganda episode, Miss Curvy. Miss Curvy is a contest where we have beautiful girls that get rated in the Ugandan streets. Also, Kenya's coming soon. But if I have to have 100 people before the premiere starts, if not, I'm pushing the premiere back to after the Rumble. So I only have 4 people waiting right now. All right, so that means I need 96 people to go to Kinganda channel. The link is there in the chat, and check it out, and then I'll air it as soon as we get 100 people waiting in the chat. I'm Rahh. Anything else you want to say, man? It was a great show, as usual.
Yeah, I can't believe that. No, I didn't. I mean, they're becoming nicer. So I really appreciate that we didn't get talking negative. We can't really afford that as Black people in America. We must try to unify. Although I don't believe in that we'll ever be able to unify in America in an American environment. So I want to appreciate all the people in the chat that held back on. It would have been a shame to be here and then people just ridiculing like that. I seem like we have some intelligent people, and I appreciate that.
All right. And guys, make sure you subscribe to youtube.com/Amin K Rahh. And again, my Kinganda channel. We did an episode yesterday for the African Diaspora Network, which was affordable housing invest in Uganda for less than $50,000. So that was an episode that we performed. We put it over there on the Advise show, African Diaspora Network. So go check that out over there. If you're looking at investing in African real estate, condos, I've stayed in them for the first 2 times I went there. So it's a good investment. I know a guy right now who's making at least $1,300 a month on Airbnb with one of those condos. So it's long-term investment. So check that out. And so 100 people in the queue for the Curvy channel, so Kinganda channel. Then we will do that. Thank you for all the new people that'll be here. I see Misunderstanding, Ozu, nigga, I can't pronounce your name. Love 44, Joey T, Beats Bob Blue, what up, Craig Harper. So guys, see you. Any last words, Amin Rahh? Amin Rahh, any last words?
No, I just wanted to say I just started my. Can you hear me? Yeah, I just started my channel a few months ago, so we're relatively new, and people are also welcome. And I want to give her an appreciation for O'Shea allowing me to come on the show, and I look forward to another time we can hang out together.
All right. So guys, see you on Kinganda channel. Peace out, and thank you for the support. What up, Babe Jones? And so thanks again. Peace out, everybody. And see you over. Everybody go to my YouTube, Amin Rahh. Go to Kinganda. That's my African channel that we talk about things going on in East Africa. And
Kinganda, you gotta send me a link or something.
Yeah, I'll send you a link. Just show you the work that your ADOS brother is doing on the continent.
Like curvy.
No, that's one of the things we do. We have
Black women's bodies. Okay.
We have, I mean that's one. But we have restaurant reviews. We have interviews with expats. Yeah, Mercy Lynn, or basically African Tigress, she did
I'll check it out.
Airbnb review for us. So yeah, man, and then we produce that for the African Diaspora channel. So we produce 35 Kinganda episodes for him. So yeah, you might have seen this over there. All right, guys. See you guys there. Thanks again, Amin Rahh.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm